Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Incomplete series, your incomplete guide to every television series you've never watched. This is where we watch the first episode and the very last episode of a television series, and then we just try and figure out what happens. So with me this week is Mr. Scott Burgess. Scotty, for the 4th time in a row, you're here.
It's like a record, isn't it?
I know,
4 times in a
unreal,
hot
right?
streak. It's only been me and Jez so far that have done 4 in a row. So.
Of course. Which leads me into the man that always looks great in person, but never in photos, Mr. Jeremy Weissman.
I apologise to the fans for that, but I've been taking classes. I've been working. It is nice to be part of the original cast with Scott. I'm just carrying you two hangers on.
Yeah.
But do you know what it is? It's good to have the same cast for the second episode in a row. I feel like we've really sort of locked down our starting 4.
Starting to gel.
And,
So
we can bring in friends of the show as we go on, but for now we got a good
core, which
call.
leads me to the 4th member of our team and the newest member, which is Mr. Aaron Boughton. Aaron, how are you?
Very well, Morgan. Very well. Yourself?
I'm very good. You're looking stoic, if I may say. I mean, the listeners can't see you, but I can tell you that he looks stoic.
Thank you.
Now, of course, sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Of course, I'm Morgan Cole.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. It's a minor detail. Now, probably people are wondering why we're making this intro so serious, and it's because we watched the very, very serious and melodramatic Beauty and the Beast. Now, Scott, can you tell people what Beauty and the Beast is?
I mean, if you're not familiar, if you haven't seen, I think the most popular version of it is the Disney film, which is probably what most people would have seen, which I think was 92.
Yeah,
roughly.
you're right. Yeah.
So this was a version of Beauty and the Beast that was before that was made in 1987.
Yeah.
And not the classic retelling of the fairy tale of girl going and being trapped in the beast's mansion and lair. It's got an updated setting.
You sure? I thought the original was underground New York, solving crimes.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing in the 1700s, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Did they have New York in the 1700s?
Maybe an underground New York.
Maybe they built the regular city on top.
I think so.
That makes sense. Yeah, logistically it makes sense.
Start from the bottom.
Yeah, you don't build the basement last.
Exactly.
No,
Makes sense.
obviously not. No, I'm glad you're here to keep these things cleared up for us, Jess. Now, what did you guys know about the show going in? Because personally, I didn't know anything, and what did we watch? I don't understand what we saw.
I think we were better off not knowing until, well, you brought it into our lives.
Yes.
This is your doing.
Yes. And it actually had pretty decent ratings on IMDb. I mean, I've since looked at some of the user reviews, and it's not as positive, but episode 1. Aaron, what do you got for us?
The first episode of Beauty and the Beast, Once Upon a Time in the City of New York, opens with Catherine, played by Linda Hamilton, a hotshot lawyer working for her father. She attends a party but leaves after a fight with her partner. While trying to hail a cab, she's abducted by a couple of men in a van who think she's someone named Carol. After the knife-wielding goons have made their mark on her, they throw her from a moving van into a ditch. Left to die, a mysterious beast-like figure, silhouetted by the streetlight, emerges and carries Catherine away into a tunnel and down a long spiral staircase. When Catherine wakes, her face is bandaged and she asks why she isn't in a hospital. The mysterious savior replies,
Don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid.
that's not helping. In a medieval-looking library, Vincent, played by Ron Pearlman, who is Catherine's savior, talks with Jacob, or Father as they call him, about having brought a stranger into their secret underground community, which broke their most important rule. Jacob, an old wise doctor type, isn't pleased, but he admires Vincent's compassion and gives him their emergency pills to give to Catherine. Vincent continues to care for Catherine with soup and stories, but she's getting tired of resting. When she pulls off the bandages, she sees her face is covered in gruesome scars. As if that wasn't enough, in the mirror, Vincent is revealed to her. He's some sort of beast, half man, half lion. She screams, he growls, and cowers away.
I've never regretted what I am. Until now.
Vincent doesn't know how he came to be. All he knows is,
I was born. And I survived.
with Stockholm Syndrome setting in, Catherine and Vincent have a heart-to-heart. She doesn't know how she will go on in the world with her scars, but Vincent gives her the courage she needs to return to the surface.
You have the strength, Catherine. You do.
After Vincent leads Catherine home through a tunnel system beneath the city, the first thing she does is get plastic surgery to fix her face. Thanks for the pep talk, Vinny, but who could ever love such a monster? After a bizarre dream during surgery, Catherine decides to take the noble route of joining the district attorney's office. We jump forward 8 months. Fresh-faced Catherine is trying to get justice for what happened to her. She takes a self-defense class and learns some New York street moves. Meanwhile, Vincent is obsessing over his connection to Catherine, and a special ability is revealed.
She can only bring you unhappiness. I cannot be unhappy. But I can't forget her. We're still connected. I can feel what she's feeling. I know what she's thinking. Vincent, your senses, your empathic powers are quite extraordinary.
Unable to resist, Vincent visits Catherine and gives her the book they didn't get to finish. They have an emotional talk about how much they've missed each other, but Vincent can't stay.
I've seen your world. There's no place for me in it.
The next day, Catherine returns home and is ambushed. The thugs didn't like her sniffing around and want to put an end to it. Sensing her fear, Vincent is roused from his game of chess and train surfs his way to her rescue. Going full beast mode, he mauls all 6 men and saves her life. The cops draw the only reasonable conclusion for a mass killing in an inner-city apartment building.
Looks like they were mauled by a lion.
Now safe, Catherine thanks Vincent and they say goodbye. For now.
Wherever you go, wherever I am, I'm with you.
Look, I think that episode 1 could only be described in 2 words, and that's hot garbage, and that's what it was.
It wasn't great.
Oh, God, it was average. Well, there was supposed to be this romantic connection between Linda Hamilton and Ron Pearlman, but it just felt like it was never really established. Like, it just didn't feel like it was even there.
Just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like when she's released back to the...
Released is definitely the right word.
Yeah, I agree.
He had power over her.
Yeah.
If he didn't want to let her go, there's no way she was getting out
Yeah,
of
she was
there.
down there for 10 days.
It's a bloody lion, man.
Yeah.
She might be Sarah Connor, but I don't know if she's got anything on a lion, man. And he talks about how she's got the courage or whatever to go on.
Yeah.
But he's known her for like a couple of days,
Yeah,
I guess.
max.
And she's
How
been
does she
asleep.
Yeah.
It's his empathetic
And
powers.
she's terrified.
How did he build this bond as well? How was it created? Was there some, like, they weren't both pissing into a fountain and lightning struck it and suddenly they, Freaky Friday type, they could feel each other's emotions. It just,
Not quite.
can he tune
No, I
into
don't think so.
anyone?
I think he has like a higher level of what do they call it? Like empathic ability with like every person, but with her it's like super strong. Like they've what is it the wolves do? They like imprint. Yeah.
Imprinting.
So maybe he's like imprinted on her while she's been asleep.
So is he like a
which is
newborn
bit weird.
cub in there?
Yeah.
The first face he saw.
Yeah.
What do they do? What do wolves do?
They imprint.
Yeah,
I think it's more
on
a
their-
duck thing.
A duck?
A
thing?
duck.
Yeah, it's always associated with ducks. Ducklings, if they see something, the first thing they see, that's their mother.
Oh.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
How does that apply to this scenario?
I thought it was a duck man. Sorry.
Yeah. All I was thinking of was from Twilight because there's Jacob who's like a wolf and he imprints on the thing. Sorry, I've seen Twilight. My bad.
Okay,
no,
same
that's okay,
Jacob
we've all
from
seen
this show?
No, different
Oh,
Jacob.
okay.
Different Jacob.
All right.
It's Taylor Lautner Jacob, as you would know.
right.
But now I'm just imagining him jumping through the air to attack somebody and then transforming into a duck. So that'd be a much better version.
It's sort of like Captain Planet, where there's Hart, the guy Hart, like the Native American dude who can feel animals.
So the monkey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because he's in tune with the beast. Are
Yeah.
beasts naturally empathetic? I don't think so. They attack on sight.
Yeah.
The whole thing, though, how like it back still on that connection that was built, like it's pretty creepy. She's constantly asking him, "Where am I? Where am I?" And he's like, "You have some more soup. Let me read you Great Expectations."
Somewhere.
Don't worry about it. I don't know. That's a silly questions.
I have a feeling that, because I don't think it was a coincidence that when she took her bandages off, like that's when he was like, you're now ready to go. Like, I reckon if she just kept him on, he just would have
Yeah.
kept her there
Yeah,
forever.
probably. I mean, he he seemed pretty furious when she pulled the bandages off, like the growl. And
So he was disgusted by her physical.
Get out of here.
Those are glass houses, Beast. I mean, come on.
And did he do the op himself to stitch her face back together? Was that him?
no, I think
I
it
reckon
was father.
Father's father.
Didn't he said something about how be a good doctor or something, but does he
Yeah.
have paws or hands?
There was a couple of good cameos as well from some well-known character actors. One of my personal favourites, Ray Wise, who, for those who have seen Reaper, he's the devil in Reaper. Or Twin Peaks, he's Cheryl Lee's father in that.
Oh, yeah.
And sorry, in this he
He's
plays Tom?
He's is Tom the douchebag boyfriend?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's Ray Wise. It's funny actually because Twin Peaks was 4 years later, but in this he looks about 25, and then in 4 years he ages to like 45. It's crazy.
You reckon he looked 25?
No, I reckon
I'm
he looked
probably
about-
35. Still. Okay, well, checks out. Fine, shoot that one down.
I reckon he looked 41 and then 45 in Twin Peaks.
Okay.
4 years later.
Look, let's just.
I think
let's
he
just
aged
stop.
pretty normally. I think we should be focusing on the fact that it was a beast man rather than
No, I'm not.
the way.
What are the other
This is the
cameos?
Ray Wise podcast.
Exactly.
Jez.
I'm trying to shoehorn in Ray Wise into every podcast now,
Okay.
just like we do with David James Elliott. And the other one was Don Stark from that 70s show. He's
Yes.
Don's dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could not pick him until you said
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
He was cast. He was listed as the Stocky Man. Was the character he played?
Went from zero to rape very quickly.
Well,
Did
big
they
time.
rape her or they just disfigure her face?
I think they just disfigure
Yeah.
her because they were
Yeah,
trying
I
to
don't
teach her a
think-
lesson.
What was the lesson?
Because
they mis-
she
was
reveal
like-
secrets because they misidentified her. That's
Yeah.
why they kidnapped her in the first place.
That's right, because they were part of some sort of...
It was an escort service.
Yeah. So they're the goons for the escort service.
Yeah.
And the other woman that she was confused for was an escort. That makes
Yeah.
sense now.
And she was revealing something to them.
Oh,
something or other.
The escorts were like stealing information, or they were like
Revealing their clientele.
Yeah, grilling their clientele. That was, and so then they had the guys that if someone got out of line, they'd stand over him.
When she goes to meet the escort who she was mistaken for, and she's like, we've all got our scars to bear, she heals miraculously from the horrible disfigurement that she suffers early on in the episode. And there's just this one tokenistic scar that they've sort of left behind her hair so she can brush it back.
Just
and say,
as proof.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm damaged as well. If I brush my hair forward, I'm like a gorgeous Hollywood actress. But as soon as I push it back
Some
slightly,
sort of ponytail.
you can see how much of a
how
disfigured beast I
she
am.
is. How hideous she has become.
I think you'd have to put in an actual request with the surgeon to
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
to
I'll
leave
leave that
that.
one in.
Like all of them, get rid of them. But this one, just like keep that, so I can just flash it at parties and.
Surely that would be the easiest spot to fix up. I'm no plastic surgeon, but the ones across like her
Beast
face,
Doctor.
I'm the beast doctor. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Did anybody immediately just see the Beast as having the emotional maturity of a 15-year-old boy? Because that's exactly how I saw him. He was so emo. He would have fit into that 2005 emo crowd of just like, this is the only girl for me. Father, you don't understand. Like, blah, 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 blah.
I don't really think about it like that, but
I don't know about you guys. When I was 15, like everything was just like massive and, there's no small stuff. It's just like everything that affects you is just the worst thing that's ever happened.
yeah.
And now that he's met this girl, it's like, oh, God.
Yeah. And
Awful.
you can feel her emotions. A la Mel Gibson in What Women Want. What Women Want?
There's a reboot.
Is that? Do you think that's what he feels? Is it like what women want? Is he hearing their thoughts? Is Beastman hearing Linda Hamilton's thoughts?
I don't know, 'cause so when she gets attacked at the apartment, he's straight onto it, train surfs his way there.
Oh, yeah. Straight out of the chess game.
Remarkably short amount of time.
Brilliant CGI. It's just...
Exceptional.
Also, when she's healed and ready to go, they wander through some tunnels, and then, without asking, he knows where she lives. Because they get to under her apartment, and she says, "Where are we?" And he knows it's her apartment, but she didn't tell him.
Is this a part of his empathic ability?
Yeah.
Does it have
Possibly.
street
Yeah, maybe
addresses
hearing their
included?
thoughts. Maybe it is like Mel Gibson's power and what women want.
I haven't seen that movie. So
How
what
did Mel
happens?
Gibson get his powers in
Yes,
What Women
I
Want?
think.
Right.
It's like what I was talking about before.
Does he drop the hairdryer in the bath or
some sort of
something?
electrical shock.
While he's
And
got
then-
women's shoes on or something?
Exactly, and he
Yeah.
loses the powers. He goes outside in an electrical storm. So that's what I thought. That's how they would.
Tie it up.
Yeah,
it
no,
in
that's how
together.
they would explain the empathetic bond between Catherine and Beastman.
Alas, no.
Vincent.
Beastman's
Should we use his human name or
I like
in the underworld they call me
Beastman.
Dothra? Surely he's got like a. They have regular human names in the underworld. I don't know.
It's probably more related to the later episode, but the whole underground thing feels like a cult.
Oh, absolutely. His
It's
name's
a cult.
Father.
He's created a cult.
Yes,
He's created a cult,
Yep.
and that's what it is. I mean,
there aren't any other sort of like Beastmen. It's not like Futurama where all the freaks live under the city. It's just
Yeah.
like the Beastman
Yeah.
and all the other people in the cult.
The Cult of the Beastman.
cult of the Beastman.
We
And
keep the Kool-Aid over here.
do they worship Beastman, or I think
I don't
because
know.
of his emotional immaturity, they probably can't.
Yeah.
It's just Jacob's trying to form him into some sort of like godlike figure.
Yeah, some
but
sort of
it's a
demigod.
failed experiment.
Is it like dogs or other animals in that you accelerate their aging? So maybe he is a 15-year-old boy. And he's,
In beast years.
but that would
Beast
be...
years.
It'd
maybe
be the
it's
other way
reverse.
around.
Reverse, like Jack or whatever that
Yeah, yeah.
he is. He looks like a 45-year-old man, but in beast years, he's 15.
Jeez. Yeah, well, look, let's jump ahead to episode 2.
Episode 2, which is episode 56.
Oh, apologies. Yes, of course. Was it 56 or 55?
Well, IMDb 55, Wikipedia 56.
This again.
Yeah.
Christmas special in there
Need some
somewhere or something?
consensus.
Just a little bit of behind the scenes at the Incomplete series. When we go to episode numbers, we usually go by IMDb, but there's a discrepancy between IMDb and Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And I think through this podcast, we've got to get that to change.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to, as we know, I'm a really big believer in IMDb, and I think that IMDb should be the source of
authority?
information. Yeah.
I've heard IMDb don't believe in Christmas specials, so whenever there's a Christmas special, they just refuse to count it.
I would
It's
refute
part
that.
of their religion.
Grinches.
They don't believe in Christmas. They're all Jehovah's Witnesses. You guys know this?
That's why Tim Allen's not on there. Deleted him.
Well, episode 2, take us through it.
As we reach the final chapter of this magical tale, we'll let our dear friend Vincent bring us up to speed.
In this city of night, in this city of millions, there are countless stories. This is one of two lovers who shared a bond that changed their lives forever. It is my story. Her compassion opened my heart to a world where goodness and truth was stronger than hate or fear. Then, one day, she was taken from me by the forces of evil she had battled so bravely. And now, alone with her memory, yet armed with her courage, I have sworn to fight those who would kill, or harm, or destroy, in the hope that one day I will find what all men seek to find: my destiny.
With Catherine apparently out of the picture, the final episode is the story of the Ashman, a murderer smearing his victims with cremated ashes. Along with a new police associate and potential love interest, Diane, Vincent is on the case. The underground community, known as the Helpers, is in trouble as they're the ones being targeted after a 25-year-old accident resulted in Gregory, aka the Ashman's father's death. Vincent is able to piece together the puzzle after the latest murder because apparently, over the years, they didn't have much diversity underground.
Wait. There was a black man.
The Helper's father, Jacob, had been living on the surface but returned below to make sure everyone was safe. Gregory, who witnessed his father's death, believes he could have been saved and wants revenge. He goes after Jacob and buries him alive in one of the tunnels, the same place his father died. Vincent and Diane find Gregory on the spiral staircase where he jumps to his death in the most impressive show of special effects you'll ever see. Vincent and the other tunnel folk manage to find Jacob in time, and all is well. In amongst all this, we see Vincent and some helpers caring for a baby.
He looks so much like Catherine.
He's got your eyes, though.
Let that sink in for a minute. Yeah, we end with some tasty romantic tension between Vincent and Diane.
And I'm thinking of you.
And that's a wrap on Beauty and the Beast.
Didn't feel like an ending. And it
Just on that, I think this is the first show that we've done that didn't
Yeah.
come to a natural conclusion. It was cancelled. So
Yep.
yeah, it's true.
that's probably why it feels so abrupt.
Well, it only got halfway through season 3 and they just axed it hard and fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they said it was because Linda Hamilton left. Once she was off it was just hot garbage. I mean, it already was hot garbage,
Well, yeah,
but then it was more revealed for that.
It was a real cult show. It had a massive following. And that's how they got season 3 initially.
Yeah,
Through
well,
fan letters.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Fans brought it back, and then obviously halfway through the season,
realised how bad it
studio
was.
realised, oh god, what have we done?
This is a disaster. Well, George R.R. Martin was a staff writer. And he really backed the show. He thinks it was some of his best work, which is just not true.
His son, I don't think he got any of the beast traits.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a tail or something.
Maybe.
It was off camera because he's sort of bundled. Is a pretty young baby.
Pretty young.
Bundled up in some
He'd
blankets.
grow into a beast.
Might have claws.
Once puberty hits.
You reckon that's when it hits?
Yeah, I reckon.
Teen
Okay.
Wolf
Get a
style.
mane. Yeah.
So Vincent was, before he got his 80s hair metal hair and his beast-like face, it's just a regular boy.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
tough high school time
Yeah,
for him.
lineman plasty.
Okay, all right. So like maybe he went through a bit of a midlife crisis. Like, I'm not really fulfilling my potential as a man, so maybe I need to
become
inject
a
some
beast
beast
man.
into me.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that that's how it turned out. When we saw the baby, I thought we might speculate that it was his.
Yeah.
Because I think we knew it was Catherine's first, but then there it is.
It just feels so weird because, they killed Linda Hamilton off at the end of season 2, we understand. But the person they replace her with, is she the worst actress of all time? Or, like,
Not
she's
great. Could
be.
so bland.
Well, clearly at the end, once she knows what's happened but doesn't want to reveal to the cops because she doesn't want to, like, reveal the entire underground society, she just tells them, it's over, trust me. The last killing was 3 weeks ago, just forget about it.
Yeah,
Like, it's done.
don't worry about it. I mean, there's a serial killer on the loose, but trust me,
Yeah.
I know it's over.
Well, 3 weeks is the statute of limitations. with
apparently,
murders.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
once 3 weeks pass,
You've got 3 weeks and you're out.
it's a cold case. It's done.
Yeah, she could easily retrieve the body and bring it in. Although the crappy CGI did make it seem like he was falling.
My God, that was one of the
CGI.
best
center
things
of
I've
the
ever
earth.
seen.
Yeah, that's really bad.
It
I thought the train surfing in the first
Yeah.
episode was bad, but
Oh, this way the trains
Oh, boy.
were pretty cutting edge. She was such a bad actress. Like, she was so bad. I can see, like, the show must have been cancelled on her in being in it alone.
No, well, I mean, you get on to revive a series that was cancelled and you're meant to fill Linda Hamilton's shoes, and it's about a beast man. Surely there should be red flags everywhere when her agent was pitching her the part. It's a show that was cancelled, but we're bringing it back. It's about a beast man, and he's doing well for himself, by the way.
He is. He's
2 love
killing it.
interests in like 3 years of the show, but I don't know what that is in beast years.
Yeah.
But it's a good strike rate.
I also love it with the new detective, whatever her name was,
Diane.
Diane, yeah, that when they're discussing the case with the DA and the other detective, that one detective's going mental the whole time, and each time, justifiably so, like, and they're just like, nah, just clearly sweeping this all under the rug, and he's flipping out, and they're just understand.
The only one actually doing his job.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. There's so many flaws. And just this show really, I mean, this episode really confirms it's a giant cult under there. And Father runs it, although he's taken off, and I have my theories why he took off.
Yeah, he's on the surface now?
Yeah.
Is he? He's not. He's allowed to be on the surface. Isn't he?
Yeah,
Does he have
I assume he had a
papers
life
and-
before Underground.
started
Although,
the
didn't
cult.
know what a frisbee was. That
Yeah.
freaked him out.
I guess. How long has it been underground? When frisbees?
Frisbee's been around for a while, surely.
Eighties?
It's hard to say. I mean,
like
because we don't know
50s.
how many. We don't know how to measure beast years, so we don't know how.
I mean,
long
he's-
this
Does
has been around
time pass differently underground?
I think
for.
so.
Beast years, or just
Well,
maybe.
is it like Interstellar when they're on that planet and that guy ages like 30 years when they're down there for an hour? Is that like
I
beast
remember
years
once
that's been down there for 1,000 years?
I lived.
And New York has stayed the same in the
Yeah.
meantime.
When I was a bit younger, we lived this low-lying area that was below sea level, and I think we were there for 3 years, but only a year passed. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, weird. So I can confirm that.
you can relate.
No, fair enough.
There was a B-lister, I wouldn't even say B-lister, I'd say C or D-lister, that did pop up in the final episode. I can't remember the actor's name, but he played Principal Snyder in Buffy.
Armin Shimmerman.
Yeah, he played Pascal, who was one of the like underground helper guys.
Yeah.
Also played Kramer's caddy in Seinfeld.
He did too, yeah.
Why are they called helpers?
I think it's a really lazy term.
Okay.
Well, I assume
what are they
he's-
Are they helping the beast?
I think they help her. Collectively, they help her solve crimes. Maybe.
Oh, right.
They're all like a part of a vigilante gang.
Is that all that
Vigilante
they are,
cult.
though? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's right.
What do
Away
they
from the
do?
cult aspect.
What do they do for money? Does father just look after them? Or?
Well, yeah, on the cult thing, in that episode, there's about 5 women mentioned who are in love with him.
Yep.
That's another,
Yeah.
red flag right there.
Oh, I know. There's a
Yeah.
lot of issues. The whole
Father.
this is what happens when you run a cult. You get the ultimate power. You can have.
It's got to be that the cult is based around the Beast Man. He's got to be the figurehead. He's like, that was how he got his disciples. It's like, look, I created a Beast Man. Fear me. Join my cult.
I think most of them probably came because they just scooped him up from the streets and shoved him underground. They couldn't get out.
Okay, and then
Wrapped him
we
in bandages
Just
and-
wait for Stockholm syndrome
Exactly.
to set in, and then
It's his move.
Sound theory.
I have one other thing to talk about with Gregory, the Ash killer.
The Ash
Yeah.
Man.
What sort of weird calling card was that? He smears ashes on people's face. Like
Why
his
were the
father's
ashes like a
ashes?
paste?
I don't know.
Like,
I think
yeah.
it was his sweat mixed with it and made a paste. I don't know.
I don't know.
But he's sort of sitting there before he gets pushed off. Or he actually jumps off the edge, doesn't get pushed. He's got like his hand in it, and he smeared it on his face.
Yeah.
yeah.
The whole, it's just a
Because he was
weird.
like murdering himself.
dimension.
He was like the final one to go. So it was like,
Every witness
part of
of
the thing.
that accident.
Ah,
he
okay.
was-
And when he buried father, and they were like, "Oh my god, it must be related to the collapse of the mine shaft years ago."
Yeah.
Oh, it must be where that mine shaft collapse actually was. Oh, we don't know where it is. It must be in father's maps somewhere. Oh, we'll have to dig through them, and then cut straight to the Beast Man running directly to the spot where he's buried. They're all talking about how are we going to find out where it is? How we're going to have to look through his maps, and then he's just beast mode.
He works it out remarkably fast.
Oh, he does. So I guess he can smell it. I don't know. I don't know what sort of senses he has.
They talk about how those tunnels have been sealed for years.
Yeah, he
but he still just gets in there quite easily.
Yeah, he just beast modes through.
Beast
I think
modes through.
I'm pretty sure that's the first time that term was ever used. Beast mode. He invented it.
I guess the show was good for one thing. It coined the term beast mode.
Yeah.
one last thing. Was anybody else, whenever they referred to father as just father, like not the father, not a father, but just father, did anybody else just think of this? Just Matt Berry from the IT crowd.
Yes.
When he bursts into his father's funeral.
I did.
Screams father. That's all I could think of.
Really? No, I couldn't. It didn't jump to me.
Oh, Jess,
Okay.
please.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's not subtle when you whisper into your mic. We can still hear it.
I know, but for the listeners, at home,
Fire our empathetic powers, we can hear it.
I don't want to shatter the illusion that I've seen every TV show ever, except for the ones that we do, which is what the listeners believe. Eh?
Exactly. So let's move into wild speculation. So, Jess, do you have any wild theories as to what happened between 1 and 55 or 56?
So Linda Hamilton obviously outgrew the show. I think the run of the show fell between Terminator 1 and
Yep.
2.
Yeah.
And she obviously quit because Terminator 2 was about to start shooting.
Apparently it was because due to like her pregnancy.
That was when she was pregnant with the Beast child.
Yes,
Yeah.
with the Beast child.
Yeah, so she obviously... So that they worked that out into the show. You reckon that's... Okay.
Well, they killed
That
her
was
off
her.
in the end of season 2, so I don't think so.
Yeah,
but,
So they killed her off.
yeah.
Oh. Because
Yeah,
in
she's
that
got off-
in that intro that Vincent Beastman is giving us at the start of the final episode, doesn't it sound like she's still
Searching for her or
alive?
something? I think using her
She was
courage as
taken
armor.
from him by the
Yeah.
forces of evil, I think.
They battle. What are the forces of evil? Is there like is it just random criminals?
Yeah, I think it's just like
Street
petty
thugs.
criminals.
Yeah.
Petty criminals who's just out there killing petty criminals?
Yeah.
Sounds like
Some guy shoplifts a Mars bar and suddenly the beast jumps down.
So that's it's a show about a beast man kidnapping people, forcing them into helping him through Stockholm Syndrome, and then thwarting petty crime.
Yeah. Anything above a bag snatch and he's out.
He's out.
He refers that, handsballs that off to
to the DA.
Yeah.
I had one theory. Well, it's not wild. I think it's actually pretty sound. But we might have noticed in the last episode that Father has left the tunnels and is shacked up with some rich girl,
Recruiting another cult member, perhaps procuring
maybe
funds
this is how he
to
gets the money.
Yeah.
He gets rich ladies to fall in love with him, then lures them underground, gets the Beast Man to maul them, and then they nurses them back to health, and there we are. But my theory was the reason he had to leave the tunnels was because, and it was fairly obvious that that one woman was upset about how she'd fallen in love with Father, and then things didn't work out, and she thought that he could never fall in love with anyone. And then he met this other woman, Jessica. My theory is that he just slept with all the women in the tunnels in the cult, and then he had to leave. He just created too much of a mess and had to get out.
He shat.
Too tense.
Shat all over where he ate.
Oh, big time. And then he goes back, and that's probably why when he goes back underground, he goes in the suit and doesn't take any of these things. Just because, he's just going to go scope out what the situation is. If they're all still there, then he'll go back.
I'm not here to stay. I'm just visiting.
Checking out my Lion Man, my failed experiment. That was my wild theory. Well, not my wild theory. It's my theory as to why Father left the tunnels.
Fits the cult.
Yeah.
It definitely fits the cult.
Oh, big time. That's what cult leaders end up doing.
So you think that he created a beast man and then he lost his medical license and started a cult?
That is sound.
No, but that's pretty spot on. So
I thought you were going to say that he's a failed experiment. Or obviously it was Father's failed experiment because he calls him Father. Although they all call him Father.
They all call him
experiments
Father.
then?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Beast Man's probably an experiment.
Is it like the fly where, as he was like creating it, a fly goes in and it's fused together, but a lion just jumps in out of nowhere?
Yeah, just one of those street lines.
Yeah.
Walking past.
All over New York.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
That cop in the first episode seemed to think they were all over New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, run-of-the-mill line.
Check the box.
Or maybe all the other ones, like the regular humans, are the failed experiments, and Beastman's the only one that isn't failed. Like that was a success, and he's been trying to replicate it, and that's why there's so many more people at the end of the series because he's trying to create more. I don't know,
more Beastmen,
frog women, and
You reckon? Yeah, like
boys. I don't know.
He's done Beastman. He broadened his horizons.
Tick the box on Beastman.
Got
What's
a line,
next?
man.
Yeah.
Bigger and better things.
Yeah. Aaron, you got any wild theories for us?
Well, on how he came to be, Jez actually mentioned it earlier. I was thinking it was a real Captain Planet crossover with the Heart Boy. Maybe you've had a child with the lion, obviously. That's how you get empathetic powers, lion.
The father had sex with a lion?
No. The
Not really
boy
keeping in true.
from Captain Planet had sex with a lion.
Yeah.
And then they ditched the baby because Father found Beastman outside St. Vincent's Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he's Vincent.
Oh, really? Is that?
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
spin-off from Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because Catherine in the first episode, she hides a scar behind her hair. And there was that villain in Captain Planet.
Same character. Same character.
Same character.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. As kids, you'd never really made those links watching Captain
I
Planet,
guess
but
not.
they're there.
Definitely wasn't watching Beauty and the Beast. Well, not that one.
So I was brought up on.
More the one with like the talking candlesticks. Less the one with dudes smearing their dead dad's ashes on their face and then murdering people.
Lion men.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of how the underground city originated?
I know, a lot of books.
There is a lot of books.
Maybe a library, like the foundation's a bit shaky. It's
It's a long way down.
It is.
Because that spiral staircase.
That is
that's
old.
gotta
That's
be-
deep. Yeah, well, who built that?
Father?
He doesn't. I mean, he was the architect, but he got his like beast minions to build it. He didn't do the manual labor himself.
And so there was more than just Vincent. There was an army of lion men, and they just died in constructing the underground city.
Potentially, like the pyramids. How many?
It's like these catacombs where there's just skulls lining the tunnels, just lion beast men skulls.
It's possible,
Yeah.
And Vincent's the last of his kind.
but doesn't remember the ones before him.
No, well, like if he was born when the last one died, that would explain why he is now the last one. And wouldn't know anything about it, and Father's just been tricking him into it.
And as we know, time moves differently underground.
An eternity.
Yeah.
So, no city official in New York has stumbled across this vast, massive tunnels.
Well, that cop at the end of the first
That they
one kind of
allude to.
poked his head in a little bit to see, like after he decided a lion mauled everyone, he was like, oh, some weird stuff going on under the city. Well, I'm off.
Yes.
Best not to question it.
We'll never solve this one.
those
We could look
times.
under there,
Fine,
but I'm not going to do it. Seems like a whole thing.
Scott, do you have any wild theories for us?
I got one that's pretty wild. Could have happened. It's Catherine and baby related.
Interesting.
So I think at one point there would have been like a friend of Catherine's who's like another DA, and she's turned up with this baby, and he's trying to figure out who it is because, I don't know, maybe he's got some sort of vested interest, sort of romantic kind of thing. And then it's then revealed that it's the Beastman's son. And then he tries to prosecute them both for bestiality.
Ooh. And she's like, oh, it's just my kid. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But he digs too far. Yeah. And then there's a bit of a trial going on about whether anything illegal was done. But it turns out that they never like physically consummated because that's not the right word.
IVF? Is that how they were?
No, well, I think it's more like a
Immaculate conception?
Yeah, immaculate conception because of his empathic powers. He impregnated her through those.
Through his thoughts.
And then so he was acquitted and wasn't put in jail for bestiality.
I feel like you could probably still get him for something there. You can't
Was there
just
consent?
go around like impregnating people with your mind.
Well, it's just one, though. It's just one.
Everyone gets one. It's fine.
Yeah. Every Beastman gets one empathic pregnancy.
I mean, if
that's
not the
fair, I guess.
bestiality, sure they could hold him on mauling 6 people, like in the first episode.
No evidence.
Cool. All right. Well, look, I think that does it for the wild theories or the what happened in between. Do we want to look ahead to everyone's favourite segment, which is the recast or the reboot? Scott, do you want to run us through again? What do we do with our reboots?
We're imagining a world where we get to reboot the show that we're talking about on the podcast any given week. We'll reboot it into any other kind of format, whether it be a movie, whether it be a TV show, whether it be a one-man stage play or a reality show with Steven Seagal beating up tools.
Yes.
Basically recast it with whoever you like. They can be from any time period, any stage of their careers.
It's the ultimate
alive or
fantasy
dead.
draft.
Fantasy draft of film.
So who wants to kick us off?
Well, look, I might kick us off first, considering I went last week. So, look, I decided I'd change it up, take some inspiration from Jeremy's reboot last week. So, rather than try and create a film like Aaron always does or a TV series,
Please.
I went for a reality TV program. And since this show was so love-based, I couldn't go past The Bachelor. So,
course.
I have rebooted mine as The Bachelor, but it's still a dramatized Bachelor. So we're not just getting a random beast man from Manhattan as we know there.
So, the Bachelor is the beast man.
It's Beastman Bachelor.
Yeah. Okay.
Beastman Bachelor.
All right.
Except
Continue.
hosting the host of it rather than getting some
Osher.
schlub, or Ryan Seacrest. I'm classing this up because what I'm going to do is the Beastman is not going to be an actual Beastman. They're a lot harder to find than you would think. I'm going to get someone well known to play the Beast Man, and the contestants have to fall in love with him as a Beast Man, and then he reveals himself as the celebrity man that he is. So I'm going to go with hosting it is going to be Michael Douglas, all class. Michael Douglas will host it, and to play Vincent, the Beast Man. I sort of thought of getting someone classically handsome like your Chris Hemsworth, your Ryan Reynolds, or your Ryan Goslings, but I figured you'd need someone pretty insane, pretty batshit crazy to want to do this, and I'm going with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Well, who'd you want?
Well,
No, we'll come back to that.
All right, we'll
actually.
come back to this.
that.
All right.
So that's my thing. It's a Beastman Bachelor, but in a celebrity format where contestants are actually falling in love with Shia LaBeouf because he's super weird. He could pull that off.
he would take to that like
Exactly.
a duck to water.
And Michael Douglas will host it.
All right. Well, I went a very similar route to you. Also a Bachelor-style reality show.
Well,
Lovely.
it just lends itself to it.
It does. It does so well. Mine's called Beast and the Beauties.
Yes.
That's good.
But I didn't.
Very
I know
good.
you said Beastmen are kind of hard to find, but I was able to scope out a few. I've got actual Beastmen as contestants. So we've got a global show that
You tapped it out.
You've
Yeah.
got
No one at
Beastman
Morgan could
contestants.
buy
they're in real Beastmen. Yeah, it's going to be a full franchise. We've got like a Moose Man in Vancouver and it's like a Bear Man in Moscow. Yeah.
So you picked up urban legend Beastmen. I mean, not urban legend, real Beastmen from around the world.
Yeah.
And you're going to get them together, and they're going to vie for the love of a beautiful woman.
Well, they need someone to join their cult. Like every
Right.
Beastman has a cult, so
Oh yeah, obviously.
we've got the father of each beast cult
Yeah.
to host.
Okay.
And I thought for the first season, we'd start in Melbourne, close to home. So we got a Platypus Man.
Oh, nice.
You know the Platypus Man in Melbourne.
Oh, of course, Platypus Man. Yeah,
He
well, he
lives
does it.
100 metres underneath the city. And the father of this cult and the host of this show, Daryl Summers.
Oh,
Father of Melbourne.
spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That
So
sounds about right.
he'll help his beast recruit someone and, yeah.
He's gone cold for a while. I reckon he is starting a cult.
Underground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the logical
In the catacombs of
explanation as to
Melbourne?
why there's no more
Yeah,
Hanging Saturdays.
with a Platypus
So-
Man.
Raising a young platypus man.
Would it make more sense for the Beast Man to be like Ostrich and Beast? Like Ostrich Man or...
Oh,
Because we
really?
go with Daryl Summers. Be like,
yeah,
what's
that's
it,
good.
what's
That's
it,
good.
You know,
Aussie
Saturday,
Ostrich
what's it
Man
called?
that
was- Yeah.
Aussie or...
That's much better.
Yeah?
Yeah, that is
Okay.
All right.
But there
I'm
is
sorry,
a Platypus Man.
I'll have a word to Platypus Man. We might be able to push him
that
aside.
Sucks for him.
That can be
though.
season
He's just
2,
got
we'll
this, it might be his breakout gig, and then
So it's the only gig
I-
he gets. Probably the only gig he'll get. It's hard out there for Beastman.
do a live action Blinky Bill, he might pop up.
It's terrifying. Getting super Australian. I apologise if you don't
I should be
understand these
critiquing
references.
your casting yet. This isn't the part where we critique casting, so I've jumped the gun.
Gun.
You got
Jess, please.
with that, Jess, let's give us your recast. What's your reboot of The Beauty and the Beast?
Alrighty, so I took some inspiration from the last podcast that we did, a family sitcom, centering around the father figure of the family. It's called Beast Dad. And yeah, the dad's a beast, mum's not. I was deciding because I go through my cast with the original series. I'm assuming they went with Ron Pearlman because he's part of the way there. He's
a big-
almost
he's a big
he's got an interesting face. He's almost a beast. So I'm going with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Love it.
Yeah,
I was
that's very
actually
good.
going to say Mickey Rourke for when Morgan was talking about it before. So
Brilliant, because I figure, if we're going to get this show off the ground, we're going to need to cut costs. It's still got to take a lot for the makeup department to get him ready to shoot. My two sons, I've gone with the two protagonists from each of the Teen Wolf movies. Teen Wolf 1 and 2. We've got young Michael J. Fox and young Jason Bateman, both played Teen Wolf, so, they're used to sort of being half beast. It'll be an easy transition for them.
Perfect.
wouldn't they be quarter beast? And
Yeah, so they'll be quarter beast. Yeah,
bit out of their wheelhouse.
but
I don't know if they can pull it off.
so Pearlman comes back, and he's father. So he's like the grandpa, living grandpa.
So he's Beast Granddad.
Yeah, beast granddad. I'm not sure whether or not he's going to be a beast or just a regular man. Hard to tell. Depends which side of the family he's on. And Julie Bowen is the mum from Modern Family.
Oh, nice.
She knows what's up
Yeah.
when it comes to this sort of show. And hijinks ensue. What else do you want me to say? It's pretty,
You don't really need to describe
pretty
what happens. I think
straightforward.
that kind of just says what... I mean, you put Julie Bowen in it, you got yourself a sitcom right there.
Just the everyday goings on of living in a beast family. I guess, the problems they'd face, going to the supermarket and stuff would be a hassle. Having to feed the kids, they'd eat a lot.
Do they still live underground, or are they
No, just-
normal suburban?
It's a nice suburban house.
Yeah.
Beast Dad, he's like a real estate agent or something.
Oh, okay.
Goes to work every day.
So this
Still
is like
vigilante? Is he still helping?
He's
That's
got
it for
a day
himself?
job, settled down. He's got kids
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
He can't be
Fair enough.
doing that
So
stuff.
is this a world where beast men are accepted? It's like a just
Not
general
really.
thing?
No, like his community tolerates him. Like he's well known enough now that they're like, he's pretty harmless. But the kids, they're pretty ostracized at school
Yeah.
and it struggles at work a bit, especially when he's running an open house and people get there and like, oh shit, that's a beast.
That's like the catchphrase for the show. Oh shit, it's the beast.
Beast men?
And yeah, I was thinking, like talking to the camera, the video diaries type stuff from Modern
yeah.
Family might be good, might not be good. And we can get to that later. Scott,
Well, all right, I've done something unconventional in not usually the way that I think it's unconventional, and I'm not quite sure that this show could actually exist, but
Unlike all of ours.
which are clearly based in reality.
Yeah.
So I want to remake Beauty and the Beast, same name, exact same show, except it's animated. But instead of having like the just like animated representations of the characters, we pull in animated characters from other shows to play all the characters in Beauty and the Beast, the animated show.
so
All right.
some sort of like all-star animated cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
pretty much.
All right. Who have you got?
So this all stemmed from the fact that Father, he's a very specific kind of figure, and all I could think of when I saw him was the Rat Sensei from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get him in to play Father.
All right.
Splinter.
Right?
I believe his name is Splinter.
Splinter, yeah, Master
Yeah.
Splinter.
Yeah, Splinter. Diane Bennett, who's the detective from the last episode, she's going to be played by Kim Possible. Bring her in.
Yeah.
Cool.
And to play Vincent, the Beast, we get no other than the Paddle Pop line. Bring him in.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
That's good.
That'll work.
And that's
Voiced
what I
by
got so
Jack.
far. I don't have a
Gotta play.
Catherine, because she was a bit... She didn't have any, like, really big characteristics that animated
I think
characters usually
Catherine
have.
is the evil scientist from Captain Planet.
Yeah, boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That works. So, we obviously have to buy out a bunch of copyright from, like, 4 different shows.
That's fine.
Seems expensive, but
It's worth it.
Which is
Yeah, I
It's
think
money
so.
in the
just
bank.
run on a web series on the dark web.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant to
lucrative.
say. It was set on the dark web.
So you've expanded the beast element. Now you got a full rat man in there. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit of a different dynamic. Are there more beast men, or is he just like brushed over? They just ignore the fact he's a rat man?
Well, yeah, it's completely ignored. I think it's like, have you seen the remake of Psycho, where it's just shot for shot, exactly the same film, except Vince Vaughn's in it?
You're not going to try and avoid the train wreck that was last season, so maybe you could get some more out of it?
No,
or-
it was sound. The script was sound, Jez. It was the live action element of it.
Exactly, that's what
chilled
made me
it
fail.
all
Down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't mind you. I don't mind that recast. It's a little strange, Scott, but it's,
I know,
it's
it was
pretty
a bit
solid.
weird.
It's pretty solid. I mean, it's different. We haven't done anything like that. But so, look, do you guys want to kind of reassess what I did and give me some feedback?
I would love to pass judgment, but
Yeah, I thought so.
I'll wait my turn.
Who's your... Yeah, Michael Douglas is the host.
Oh, yeah,
He's
big time.
pushing it.
Yeah.
So what?
You only want one series? Because, I mean, one season?
Well, you only do one season, because then if I did it again, people would know the Beast Man is going to be some sort of celebrity.
That's
Well,
true.
the next season you can get Vince Vaughn in, but then
Reveal
at the
it.
end he was revealed to be an actual Beast Man.
Yeah.
I'll hook you
Oh,
up
right.
with the Platypus Man. We'll dress him up
Well,
in
okay,
Vince
look, my
Vaughn's
people will
face.
speak to your people.
Yeah.
We'll work
Make it
this
work. Crossover.
Yeah, perfect. Aaron, your reboot is exceptional. I don't know how to recast it, because I don't think I can.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
So Daryl Summers
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the cult leader of the Melbourne Beast branch of the
Either-
worldwide Beast cults.
either the famous Platypus Man, or we'll
If-
get some sort of Ozzy the Ostrich.
Yeah, we'll try.
Man.
We'll try.
Yeah,
I think
that's-
Platypus Man's good though. Yeah, like you said,
He can do
you
the
gotta,
job.
He's legit.
It's got to be related to the country. That,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and the region.
What makes you think women will want to be on this show?
Well, the start of it, obviously, they'll need to get them underground first.
Yeah, disfigure their face.
Yeah,
Just
get the
bandage them up.
Stockholm syndrome in,
Yep.
and then maybe 2 weeks later we'll start production. And
But he's got to do this multiple times.
yeah, 10 contestants, 10-week show.
I guess you could have them all in separate. Like you could go in one night, bring all 10 women back.
Yeah.
Have them in separate rooms.
Yeah, there'll just be a slew
Feed 'em
of
soup.
kidnappings.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll be sponsored by Campbell's, just feeding everyone soup.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Beast Dad.
Beast Dad.
I like Beast Dad.
You like the title?
That's great.
Yeah.
Like there'll be a scene where they take some fishing on like a father-son fishing trip. The annual thing for the school is like young Jason Bateman or young Michael J. Fox the whole week's like, oh dad, I just really don't want to screw this up. I want to show to my friends that we've got a normal family dynamic and stuff. And then they get to the fishing, instead of using like a hook and line and stuff, they just jumps in Grizzly
runs
Bear
in.
style and swipes salmon straight out of this stream. Yeah, things like that.
And then the Curb Your Enthusiasm music kicks in.
And
Ugh.
Dad.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I guess the one positive thing that's come out of Beauty and the Beast is that there is a hot market for it, and we've just created 4 very viable options. I think we should be proud of ourselves. Look, I think final thoughts for me is that this show, it was really melodramatic. It was hard to watch. It just was really poorly strung together. The writing was terrible. The acting was just as bad. Why does Ron Pearlman have such a raspy voice? I don't know. I hated this show. I hated watching it. It was awful. I'm glad we did it. but I hated it.
You were so excited when you came up to us and said, "Look, there's this show where Ron Pearlman plays the Beast from Beauty and the Beast."
I know.
I feel like it's really let you down.
If I could only go back in time, but I can't. So, Scott, what are your final thoughts on Beauty and the Beast, the 1987 live action version?
Yeah, I'm much the same. I mean, I think that in between there would have been some really proper crazy stuff going on. I really do want to know what happened to Catherine, but alas, that's not a part of this. We can't actually find out what happened, so that's just going to be lost. But from what we saw, I would say don't watch it. If I had a clip of Tim Allen going I'd give it 0 euros out of
10
5
10 or
5. I can't remember.
It is bad.
Yeah.
Either way, it's scoring a hard 0.
Yeah.
Jez, give us, what were your final thoughts on this live action monstrosity?
Yeah, it was very average, but with a writer like Old Mate George tied to it, it makes you think that there would have been some quality content in there, because it has a bit of a cult following, or did have enough for people to write in and revive the show. So maybe there was some salacious, titillating action drama in there, a la Game of Thrones. Maybe we would have seen some bestiality. Who knows? George R.R. Martin is a twisted individual. I'm not sure he'd shy away from full penetration beastman porn.
I was going to say, how much would they have shown? Would a kiss between the Beast and Catherine,
I don't think
or
that'd be
full
enough
penetration? Where do you draw? Where would the public accept
It's-
the line to be drawn in 87?
I reckon it's closer to full penetration
Yeah.
than it is the kiss. And I think that the cult following has spawned from the furry community. And I reckon that's...
Ooh,
There you go.
I don't know which came first, the furries or that show, but either way, they're connected.
Yeah.
Aaron, give us your final thoughts on Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, like you say, so melodramatic, and it just had like no self-awareness of. There was no humor about it.
No.
I think it might have worked a bit more if they, I don't know, played into it properly, a bit more aware of how ridiculous the entire concept was. But somehow it worked back then. It was nominated for Emmys, won an Emmy. How does that happen? Yeah.
What for?
Was it
Ron Pearlman
prosthetics or no?
didn't Ron Pearlman win an Emmy?
Best actor.
Yeah.
Because he clearly got it for just taking those huge pauses in between his lines. I feel like
Very pensive.
there was no 2 lines that he said that were more than 3 seconds apart. Less than 3 seconds apart, sorry.
And his raspy voice.
Oh,
He sounds so different in that than he does in anything else he's ever been in.
it's bizarre. It's like his own Batman voice. It's like he's concealing his identity.
All right, cool. Well, let's call it an episode. It's been a hell of a ride, this one. Look, if you have any suggestions for us for episodes, if you want to make sure something like this doesn't happen again, that is Beauty and the Beast, you can look us up on our social media. Jez, how can you... What formats are we on?
So, the Incomplete Series, I should say, on both Facebook and Instagram.
Nice.
Twitter, we are podcast TIS. Not to be confused with podcast-itis. If you have podcast-itis, please see a physician. But yeah, like Morgan said, open to suggestions for what we should review. Would love to see your reboots if you've got any ideas. Feel free to critique ours, Aaron.
Absolutely. And please, if you're listening to us on iTunes, rate, review, subscribe. 5 stars only, thanks.
Oh, brutal.
That's fair.
Yeah, I won't take 4 stars. I can't handle it. Please.
If you're going to go under 5 stars, just unsubscribe. Just hit that button.
Yeah, absolutely. Go, won't you?
Please don't
need-
unsubscribe
no need
because we can't afford to lose them.
we are struggling as it is. And look, hey, Scotty, what are we doing next week? Oh,
Well-
next week? Sorry, next episode, I should say.
So, next episode, I think we're kind of going to go with Aaron's sort of thing of going super Australian, just briefly, if nothing else. McLeod's Daughters.
Oh,
Yes.
what a classic. I think John Jarrett was in McLeod's Daughters from memory.
I think he's the only person that I knew by name that was in it.
I know.
think that's
in fact,
about
he may
it.
not be in it. I just know he's an Australian actor.
Well, chances are he's in it then. If he's an Australian actor, then he'll be
He will
in one
be
of
at some
the
stage.
8 seasons of McLeod's Daughters.
8
Wow.
seasons.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
You do.
I
luckily-
thought what I would learn today would be slightly more interesting than McLeod's Daughters' 8 seasons. But I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Luckily, we only have to watch 2 episodes.
That's
so
true.
Oh, thank
It's always a
God.
bonus.
We'll leave the 8 seasons to
To the
John
pros.
Jarrett.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you very much. All right, well, cool. Thanks for listening. And look, thank you, Scott.
No worries, Morgan.
And thank you, Jeremy.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Morgs.
Awesome, cool. Look, we'll catch you next episode. And please rate, review on iTunes, and give us some suggestions on Facebook, Instagram, or what was the other thing we do?
Twitter.
Of course, Twitter.
Pinterest.
Nobody uses Twitter.
Please
Cool.
find us on Pinterest.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.